Okay, I'm going to go over your formulas that you need for the questions on your test dealing with SOHCAHTOA and the unit circle. Obviously, you need to know how SOHCAHTOA works, their trig ratios. You need to have your unit circle, completed unit circle with degrees, radians, and coordinates. You need to know your right triangle triples. You need to know Pythagorean theorem and how to use it. And you need to know your unit circle trig ratios. The radius is always 1, or the hypotenuse on the unit circle. You need to know your coordinates, the signs of your coordinates for the quadrants, and your trig ratios on the unit circle. Sine is just y if the radius is 1. Cosine is x. Tangent's y over x. Cosecant is 1 over y. Secant 1 over x. And cotangent is x over y. All right, let's look at these practice problems. Number 1, tangent is 3 over 4, and it tells me theta is between 0 and 90 degrees. And so what we're going to do, here's 0 degrees, 90 degrees. Let's just draw us an angle, and we'll make it a right triangle. Put theta here. All right, so theta, or tangent of theta, is 3 over 4, opposite over adjacent. So 3 would go here, 4. This is a right triangle triple, so your hypotenuse is 5. And the question wants to know cosine. So cosine theta is adjacent over hypotenuse, 4/5. Okay, number 2 tells us sine theta is 1/2. Cosine theta is root 3 over 2. Cosecant is what it wants. Cosecant theta. All right, cosecant is just sine flipped over. And so they give us sine as 1/2. So cosecant would be 2 over 1, or just 2. Okay, sine of 30 degrees on the unit circle, that coordinate is root 3 over 2 comma 1/2. So that's your x comma y coordinate, and sine theta equals y. And so all we need is the y portion of my coordinate, which is 1/2. All right, tangent of negative 3 pi over 2. So we need to figure out where exactly is that on the unit circle. So we are going to go in the negative direction. So negative direction is the clockwise. So this would be negative 1/2 pi, negative pi, and then negative 3/2 pi. And so this coordinate here is 0, 1, and tangent is y over x. So this is my x, y, x comma y. So tangent is 1 divided by 0. And when we divide by 0, this is undefined. Number 5 tells us that you have an angle with its terminal side passing through negative 12, negative 5. So negative 12, negative 5 is in third quadrant. So something like that. So this is negative 12, negative 5. And this is a triple. So it's a 5, 12, 13. And it wants to know what is sine of theta. Opposite over hypotenuse, negative 5 over 13. All right, number 6 just like number 5, it gives us a coordinate that the angle goes through, and it's +4, -3, so that'll be my 4th quadrant. +4, -3. So x is +4, y is -3. This is a triple, 3, 4, 5. And it wants cosine. Cosine theta adjacent over hypotenuse, 4/5. All right, number 7 tells us that sine over cosine is negative. And so for sine over cosine, a fraction to be negative, you either have to have a positive divided by a negative, like this, or you have to have a negative divided by a positive. And so there's only 2 quadrants where we can have sine over cosine is negative, and that would be quadrant 2 or quadrant 4. All right, 8 tangent 35 pi over 4. We need to figure out where exactly is that on the unit circle. And it may help you to rewrite this as a mixed number. 35 divided by 4, 4 goes in 35, 8 full times, and there are 3/4 left over. So if we think about a full turn, or a full circle is 2 pi, so 2 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi, 8 pi, and I need to go 3/4 of a pi more. So 3/4 more. So, all right, so anytime you have coordinates right in the middle here, it's those √2/2's. This is the 2nd quadrant, so that's a negative positive. So negative √2/2, positive √2/2. All right, and anytime it's asking for tangent or cotangent in the middle of your quadrants, so those pi over 4 coordinates, tangent or cotangent, it's either going to be 1 or -1. So remember, tangent's y over x. If you're dividing by a positive divided by a negative, then, and it's the same coordinate, √2/2 divided by negative √2/2, this is going to give me -1. Tangent is -1. Same thing here, it would be -1, because it's a negative divided by a positive. Well, here it would be +1, because that's a positive divided by a positive, and quadrant 3 would be +1 also if it's tangent or cotangent, because it's a negative divided by a negative. And so the answer is -1. Tangent 35 pi over 4 is -1. All right, number 9 tells us that theta is between 90 and 180. So here's 90 and 180. So somewhere here. And it tells me that tangent theta is -24/7. Negative and 24/7. All right, tangent is opposite over adjacent. So this would be a +24 and a -7. And then that's also a triple, 7, 24, 25. And it wants to know sine theta, opposite over hypotenuse, 24/25. All right, number 10 tells us what are the values of theta when tangent is -1. So remember, a few problems back, tangent in the first quadrant of these middle angles, the pi over 4 angles, tangent of the first quadrant would be 1, second quadrant -1, third quadrant 1, fourth quadrant -1. And it's saying what are the values of theta, and the answer choices are in radians. And so what is the radian at the -1 values? And so this is 3 pi over 4. That's one answer. And this one over here is 7 pi over 4. So those are your answers.